Let's go to Axios Congressional reporter Stephen Neukam for his thoughts on this. Stephen, appreciate your time this morning. So we've already seen on Truth Social the lines of attack that Donald Trump will be coming up with today. So what more is he going to say, and what's the response likely to be from Joe Biden?
Yeah, look, I think former President Trump's advisors and other Republicans that we've talked to, you talked a little bit about the 2020 campaign and the debate and how former President Trump came off as very angry and shouting and interrupting President Biden many times. His advisors and people around him want him to sort of rein that back. Talk about the future. Don't talk about the 2020 election. Don't talk about how it was, quote unquote, stolen from him, and talk about issues that Republicans care about. Talk about the border, talk about inflation, the economy. I think those are all things that we're going to see former President Trump push President Biden on. And then Biden's going to defend his record in office, talk about the economic gains that the country has made since he came into office in 2020. And he will also try to remind voters of what really when the end of the Trump administration, how poorly of a state America was in the middle of the pandemic.
Yeah, and one of the major differences 4 years on from their last debate is the fact that Donald Trump is now a convicted felon. Is this something that Joe Biden brings up today and uses that as an attack line, or is that kind of risky territory for him, bearing in mind that the Biden family have their own legal dramas?
No, that's something you're going to see the president talk about. It has been a focus of President Biden's campaign ever since the guilty verdict dropped in New York. They're going to talk about how former President Trump is now a convicted felon. That is one of the top lines. And they, sort of have seen the polling that many independents think intend not to support former President Trump because of the felony convictions. And they want to seize on that and try to talk to as many sort of undecided voters to get them into that bunch of voters as well.
So a few different changes when everyone's tuning into this debate in a couple of hours' time. Stephen, no audience today, right? No audience. There's also the mute button. Is that going to work?
We'll see if it works. Well, I mean, we know, one, these men will not be sitting too far away from each other. So even if a microphone is turned off, it's not inconceivable that they could still shout over each other. And then, no live audience. But the reality is, and the polling that we've seen is we expect a gigantic television audience. I mean, upward of 70-75% of likely voters are going to watch this debate. It's likely the only one that we get this cycle. It's very early on in June, but this is
okay. I thought there might have been a
huge state.
Sorry, Steve. I thought there might have been a second one. That's not the case. There's only just going to be one.
Well, they're in discussions about a second one, but there's expectation that look, if one goes well for President Biden, why would he get on the debate stage again?
Sure.
And same thing for former President.
That's true. Just a final one here. I mean, who are Biden and Trump going to be speaking to today, bearing in mind that, on both camps, votes are already locked in? Looking at Real Clear Politics, the poll of polls, if you like, it's got Trump 1.5 points ahead. So, this election's going to be a squeaker. So who are they aiming for today? What section?
Look, they've got months on the campaign trail to talk to their base, to talk to voters that they, know are going to turn out, and try to make sure that they can turn out as many of those as possible. I think tonight they're going to be talking to the moderates, the independent. The folks who are truly undecided, people who have not been paying attention to this campaign and election so far. Those are the people that they're going to be talking to, and those are the people that they're going to be trying to win over.
Okay, Stephen Neukam, the Axios Congressional reporter. Thanks for your time, Stephen. We'll talk to you again soon.